Fragrance houses sell you the bottle. Nobody sells you the system. Not getting compliments? There's a good chance you're making the wrong choices. Wrong fragrance, wrong weather, wrong amount, wrong room, and somehow the bottle gets all the blame. Let's fix that. Before we even talk about the fragrance, let's talk about everything else you're wearing. Your laundry detergent smells like something. Your deodorant smells like something. Your body wash has its own tropical vacation going on. Maybe even your hair product has very strong opinions about what you should smell like. By the time your fragrance shows up, it's walking into a room where everyone else is already talking. It never stood much of a chance. This is why guys with genuinely good fragrances still don't smell that great. The bottle usually isn't the problem. The fragrance is buried before it even gets started. So wherever you can, switch to unscented. Laundry detergent, fabric softener, body wash, deodorant. They cost about the same, but now your fragrance doesn't have to fight 5 other products for attention. It finally gets to do the one job you bought it for. The same thing happens when people start layering fragrances without really knowing why. 2 fragrances that don't work together don't create something better, they create something confusing. Layering actually has rules around scent families and note compatibility. Ignore those rules and you're basically cooking without a recipe. Sometimes it works. Most of the time, you're just hoping for the best. I've actually got a whole video on scent layering because there's a lot more to it than most people think, and it's surprisingly easy to get wrong. So the fragrance was probably fine. The system around it wasn't. Now, assuming you've sorted all that out, there's still one decision almost everyone gets wrong every single morning. What fragrance they're actually spraying. This one does real damage, and the worst part is, you almost never find out. You're not around to hear what everyone else is thinking after you've walked away. Some fragrances belong in winter the same way puffer jackets do. Technically, you can wear them in July, nobody's going to stop you. Heavy fragrances, orientals, ambers, ouds, rich vanillas are built for cold air. Cold temperatures keep them under control, so you get all that depth and warmth without the fragrance taking over the room. Now wear that same fragrance in the middle of summer and everything changes. Heat speeds everything up. The sweetness that felt smooth in winter suddenly becomes overwhelming. You didn't spray more, the temperature did it for you. Everyone around you is smelling a completely different fragrance from the one you thought you put on. Now flip it. Fresh fragrances, citrus, aquatics, light woods need a bit of warmth to really come alive. That's why they feel so clean and refreshing in summer. But wear that same fragrance on a freezing winter evening and it barely projects. You think you're wearing a fragrance, everyone else is wondering if you forgot. And it's not just the weather, the room matters too. Wear a heavy oud to a shared office at 9 a.m., squeeze into a packed elevator, or sit through a long meeting, and your fragrance gets there before you do. People form an impression before you've even said hello, and chances are, it isn't the one you were hoping for. Match the fragrance to the weather, match the projection to the room. It takes 10 seconds to think about, and it changes everything. But even if you've got the right fragrance for the weather and the room, there's still one thing almost everyone gets wrong. And that's how much they're spraying. Most guys spray every fragrance exactly the same, 2 sprays every morning. Doesn't matter if it's an EDT, an EDP, or a parfum. The bottle could literally be trying to tell them otherwise. That's because the concentration isn't just marketing, it's also a pretty good clue for how much you should be spraying. Parfums are usually rich enough that 2 sprays is all you need. EDPs are generally happiest around 2 to 4 sprays. EDTs are lighter, so 4 to 5 sprays is usually completely fine. Of course, there are exceptions. A light citrus fragrance can usually handle more. A heavy oud or sweet vanilla might need less. The concentration gives you the starting point. The scent profile tells you whether to adjust from there. Overspray a parfum and you become that person in the elevator. You know exactly who I mean. Everyone in that elevator knows. Nobody says anything. Everyone's quietly making the same promise to stand somewhere else next time. Underspray a light EDT and it's gone before your first meeting. You're convinced the fragrance has terrible performance when, in reality, you never gave it a fair chance. 2 completely different problems, same mistake. The bottle was giving you the answer the whole time. You just weren't reading it. So now you've got the right fragrance for the right weather in the right amount. There's just one last mistake, and it's probably the one that makes the biggest difference. Research from Liverpool University found that men who wore their preferred scent rated themselves as more attractive, and were even rated as more attractive by observers who couldn't smell them. The fragrance didn't do the work directly. The confidence and intention behind wearing it consistently did. That's a documented effect, nothing to do with the price of the bottle. Wear the same fragrance consistently enough, and people start associating that scent with you. They catch it in a crowd, passing someone on the street, or walking through a store, and immediately think of you. Scent memory is the strongest memory trigger we have, but it only works through repetition. One random exposure builds almost nothing. Weeks and months of consistency build something people actually remember. Most guys rotate randomly, different fragrance every day based on mood or whatever's nearest the bathroom door. Nobody around them ever builds that association. They just smell like a rotating series of different things. Not memorable, not distinctive. Just background noise with a nice bottle. Stickman owns 7 fragrances. He's worn a different one every morning for 3 years. Nobody has ever associated a particular scent with him. He thinks the problem is the fragrances. He's already looking for bottle number 8. Pick one fragrance as your daily driver and wear it consistently. Don't stop wearing the others, just anchor yourself to one. That single habit does more for how people remember you than any bottle upgrade ever will. Which brings us to the actual fix. And thankfully, it's a lot simpler than buying more bottles. You don't need a huge collection. You just need 3 fragrances, each with a different job. First, your daily driver. This is the one you'll wear most days. Versatile, appropriate almost everywhere, and nothing that announces your arrival before you do. Wear it consistently enough, and people start associating that scent with you. Then, your social fragrance. A little louder, more personality, more projection. This is for weekends, dates, dinners, nights out, anywhere you actually want to stand out a bit. This is the one that gets noticed. The one people ask about. And finally, your occasion fragrance. This isn't for every Friday night. It's for the moments that actually matter. An important interview, a wedding, a first date. Because you don't wear it often, it still feels special every time you reach for it. And that confidence comes through. That's it. 3 fragrances, 3 jobs. Every situation covered. No more guessing, no more spraying blind, just a system that works. Most guys will keep spraying randomly and wondering why it never quite lands. You won't. Because now you know exactly what's going wrong and, more importantly, how to fix it. Now you have the system. Go use it. Subscribe, because this channel exists to help you smell better through knowledge, not just a bigger fragrance collection. And that video right there is genuinely worth your time next.